Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, Aditi. Good afternoon, Shravani Mandavkar. Good afternoon, Santosh. Good afternoon, Samruddhi Gorkar. Good afternoon, Trupti Vasare. Good afternoon, Kalin. Good afternoon, Kalapati Tripathi. Good afternoon to all of you. Okay, let us start. So, I usually say that be a good observer, and today I observed one very good quotation. So I want to share it with you. Whatever happens in your life, okay, I saw this quotation in a hospital. So it was written in that whiteboard. Be good in life, isn't it? Whatever happens in your life, be good. What is the reason? Being good is a legacy left behind. Okay, so you will be remembered if you do good, if you be good. Okay, so it's a legacy that is left behind, isn't it? Okay, so yesterday I told you we are going to start new lesson, that is getting to know plants. Okay, so I already told you that to study anything, it is very important to be curious, to be good observer. Even the great scientist, what Albert Einstein told, he is not exceptionally talented, but he is passionately curious. Okay, the great scientist, he is remembered for his intelligence. He is remembered for his theory of relativity. He is remembered for his equation E is equal to mc square. Okay, so he even told that he is passionately curious. He is not exceptionally intelligent. So you can understand learning science or learning any subject, it is very important to be curious, isn't it? So now our lesson getting to know plants, getting to know about plants. Okay, this lesson we will find it is there everywhere in our surrounding. So if you are curious, you can study each and everything by seeing your surrounding, by becoming a good observer. For example, now one question I'll ask you. You are seeing various plants are there in your surrounding. Thousands of plants are there. Now please give me the answer whether these all plants are having same height. Give the answer whether they are having same height, all of these plants. Whether all the plants are having same height. Yes, Fule gave correct answer. Bhatkar also gave correct answer. Santosh, Aditi, Janvi, Abhishek, Anshu gave correct answer. Very good, beta. All these plants, they are not having same height. And we will classify these plants depending on their height. Are they having same stem? Same kind of stem is there in every plant surrounding you? Same kind of stem is there? Yes or no? No. They are also not having same kind of stem. Okay. So Ravi Bonde told no, Bhendarkar told no, Phule told no, Kalapati also told no. They are not having same size. They are not having same stem. Okay. So depending on their stem, depending on their size, we will classify this plant. And what is the purpose of classification? We have already studied in one of the lessons earlier. If you see my earlier videos, In one lesson, we discussed a lot. What is the name of the lesson? Anybody can give the answer? Yes, what is the name of the lesson in which we discussed a lot about classification? Can you give the name? Pranati Shivaso told every plant have different heights. Yes, different species have different height. Okay, so can you give me the name of the lesson which we studied? In that lesson, we discussed about classification. Very good. Bhatkar gave very correct answer. Sorting material into groups. Yes. So that is the importance of linking one lesson with another. Each and every lesson, each and every class is linked with each other. Okay. So very good Bhatkar, very good Elias, very good Tripathi, very good Bhendarkar. All of you are giving correct answer that the name of the lesson is sorting material into groups. The word itself explains the meaning, that classification. We also studied in detail why classification is very important, because it is making our studies easier. If we learn the characteristic of one species, one item in that group, so we can know the characteristic of many items, many species in that group. Okay, so we are also interested to classify so many plants in our surrounding. Okay, so first question I asked you whether they are having same height. So you only give me answer. They are not having same height. They are having different height. So some plants you may be find like tulsi, like mint, pudina, like grasses. You may find that wheat, rice. These are plants, they are few inches in height, less than 100 centimeter, less than 1 meter. Okay, so we will find many plants are there like tulsi, mint, grasses, wheat, rice. What about their height? They are less than 1 meter, less than 100 centimeter, few inches in height. Okay, so such plants, yes, seeing your correct answer, very good beta, they are known as herbs. So depending on height we are discussing, we call them as herbs because their height is less than 1 meter. 1 meter. That is 100 centimeter. Means you can just estimate, you take 10 centimeter scale, 10 times 100 centimeter, that is 1 meter. So below that we will find that are known as herbs. Okay, so many of you are giving very correct answer. Bhatkar gave very correct answer. They are very short plants. Okay, they are called herbs. Okay, Jogi also gave correct answer. Okay, now we will find in our surrounding there are some plants like herbs which are less than 1 meter. That is 100 centimeter. There are some plants which are of my height. Which are of my height or just bigger than me. Okay, so what do we call them? They are between below 1 to 3 meter. Okay, so what do we call them? They are known as shrubs. Very good, Janvi Bhendarkar gave correct answer. Singh gave correct answer. Bhatkar also gave correct answer. Very good, beta. So we will find there are plants like, can you give some example? You told shrubs, can you give some example of the plants which are of my height or just somewhat bigger than me? Okay, can you give some example of shrubs? For example, we can see lemon plant, custard apple. Custard apple means sitapal. Lemon means nimbu. Lemon, custard apple, rose, China rose, that is hibiscus. Hibiscus means jasmine. Okay, so we will find guava, jam. Okay, so we will find all of you are giving very good answer. Rose, some of you are given the answer. Very good. Okay, so we will call these plants as shrubs. S-H-R-U-B-S, shrubs. Because their height is less than 3 meters. Means 300 centimeters. So such plants, they are known as shrubs. Hibiscus, rose, all of you are given correct answer. All they are shrubs. Now we will find there are many plants in our surrounding. Some are very heighted. Okay, above don't draw their pictures. Sing. Don't draw pictures there. So we will find heighted plants are there. Okay, above 3 meter, above 300 centimeter. What do we call such heighted plants in our surrounding? Tree. Very good, Sing. Sing has given very correct answer. Very good, beta. Keep it up. So we will find such heighted plants in our surrounding, which is above 300 centimeter, that is 3 meter. They are known as tree. Okay. Very good example. Bhatkar has given banyan tree. Okay. So we will find banyan is the example of tree because it is heighted more than 3 meters. Some more example can you give me? Some more example. Mango tree. Very good. Some more example. Coconut tree. Okay. Some more example. Don't draw there mango. Chaitanya bias. You draw after the period. Okay. Mango tree, neem tree. Then coconut tree. Then okay. So we will find these trees. They have height. Height more than 3 meters. Okay, so everything is visible in your surrounding. Be a good observer. Yes, jamun tree also very good example. Jackfruit tree is also very good example. Tamarind tree is also very good example. All of you are giving very good example. Okay, guava is a shrub. Goreshwar. Okay, don't write for tree, that is. Okay, so mango tree, very good example. So if you observe your surrounding, you can study all these things, enjoying studies. Whenever you go outside, see the small plants in your surrounding. Tulsi, pudina, so small plants, wheat, rice, grasses. You just recollect it, they are herbs because they are very small in height, below 1 meter. Then you can see the small bushy plants in your surrounding like jasmine, that is hibiscus rosa sinensis, China rose, okay, guava, jam, custard apple, sitapal. You can see how they are heighted just above my head. Just okay. So all these which are having height 1 to 3 meter, what we will call them? We will call them shrubs. Okay, and you see lot of heighted plants in your surrounding, very much heighted. Mango, neem, tamarind, okay, banyan. Okay, so what we call them? We call them as trees. So everything is available in your surrounding. When you are observing it and you just recollecting in your mind, yes, then you just this thing I studied in this chapter. Okay. Now this we have seen height. Now we see the stem. Now shift to the next point. Stem. stem. Now tell me whether the stem of all these plants in your surrounding are same. Give the answer. Whether the stem of all these plants in your surrounding, whether it may be herb or whether it may be shrub or whether it may be tree, all these stems are they same? Yes or no? Very good. Kalapati told no. Vasade told no. Bhendarkar told no. Bhatkar told no. Yes. Santosh told no. It is quite clear they are having different types of stems. Okay. So first of all, we will see the stem of tree. Now shift to next question. Tree. You only gave me the example. Banyan tree, mango tree, neem tree, tamarind tree, apple tree. Okay. Now in these trees, what we will find? The stems are very thick. Are thick and woody, called trunk. What do we call them? Trunk. And this trunk is covered with bark. Okay. So you can just observe in your surrounding that these trees, heighted plants, you see their base, the stem, it is very thick. Okay, and it is covered with a covering known as bark, which protects the trunk of the tree. So one more point, along with the height, we got that these trees, they have very thick woody stem known as trunk, and this trunk is covered with bark. So such plants which have very thick woody stem, they are trees, heighted above 3 meter and having thick woody stem covered with bark. What we call them? Tree. We classify them as tree. Okay. Then jamun tree is also very good example. Okay. Now shift to next point. We will find the stem of the shrubs. Now stems of the shrubs, are they same like the trees? I will draw the diagram. In trees, what we will find? Suppose this is the ground. You will find that the stem is thick, that we call it trunk. This in case of trees. Now, in case of plants like shrubs, what will happen? From the base, the stem arises up to few inches, and from that we will find many branches arises. Now here we will find these trees, they have trunk. Okay, but here in shrubs, the stem of shrub is not thick, is not as thick as tree, as thick as trunk of tree. That is the difference between the stem of the tree, that is trunk, and the stem of the shrub. Okay, it is not as thick, and we will find this stem, it grows up to some height, but here it grows, we will find up to some, we will find up to 5, we can see up to 4 or 5 feet it will grow. Okay, but here we will find it will grow up to 1 or 2 feet only. Okay, so that is the difference between the stem of the trees and shrub, if you observe carefully in your surrounding, isn't it? Then stem of herbs. How is the stem of herbs? Like tulsi, pudina, that is mint. How is the stem of these plants? Herbs. Whether it is very thick like trees, whether it is thick and woody like in the shrubs, how it is then? It is soft. Very good. Bhatkar, your very correct answer. It is soft. Okay. So we will find the stem of herb is soft, tender, small. Is it thick like trunk and the stem of the shrubs? No. So that is the difference between the stem of herbs, shrubs and trees. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Then branches we will see. Okay. Now we will see branches. Now suppose this is tulsi. What? That is coming under herb. Height below 1 meter. Okay, stem soft. Okay, green stems are there, or we can say in many herbs we will find soft, tender green stems are there, not thick. And then branches, few branches are there. For example, we will find tulsi, then mint, coriander, wheat, rice, okay, cabbage. All these are the example of herbs. They are height below 1 meter, they are soft, thin, tender stem, and you will find their branches are few, only few branches are there. For example, tulsi, mint, coriander, wheat, rice, cabbage. Here I covered height, stem and branches. So by seeing height, stem and branches, we can differentiate plants into herbs, shrubs and trees. Okay. Now we will shift to the next, that is shrubs. In shrubs, what happened? From the base, the stem rises up to few inches and then many branches arises. Bushy appearance is there. In case of shrubs, bushy, then we will find many branches, then we will find height is about 1 to 3 meter height, then here bushy many branches are there and stem is woody, but not as thick as trunk of tree. That is the difference between the height, then stem and the branches of herb and shrub. Here height below 1 meter, here height between 1 to 3 meter. Here stem soft, tender, weak stem, thin stem is there. Here shrubs, stem is woody, thick but not as thick as trunk. Okay, here many few branches are there. Here we will find many branches. They are giving us bushy appearance. For example, China rose, hibiscus rosa sinensis, jasmine. For example, gulab, rose. For example, custard apple, sitaphal. For example, guava, jam. Okay, all these are the example of shrubs. Okay, all these are the example of shrubs. Is it not? I am thinking it's buffering and it's not clear. Okay, is it clear now? That is the difference between herbs and shrubs and trees. I will draw tree now. So you have to consider 3 points, 3 major points. You have to be a very good observer. First, you see the height, very small plant, medium sized plant, big plant. So very small herb, medium sized shrub, big plants, trees. Then you also see the stem, very thin, tender green stem, herb. Then woody stem, few inches above the ground, shrub. Very thick trunk covered with bark, tree. Okay, then you see the branches, very few branches, very small plant, herb. Then shrubs, many branches, bushy appearance like jasmine, that is hibiscus rosa sinensis, China rose, okay. Then gulab is there, rose is there, guava, our jam, custard apple, sitapal. So many branches are there, height like my height, just somewhat little bigger than me. We call it as a shrubs, and very heighted, above 3 meter, we call it as a trees. Branches, we have to see the height and we have to see the stem. Okay, so we will find, if you compare all these three, we can distinguish between herbs, shrubs and trees. So it's too much buffering. Shall I log in again? It's too much buffering. Okay, so we will find, this is how you can differentiate between herbs, shrubs and trees. Now here I have drawn herb and here shrubs. Now I will draw here tree. In tree, what happened? Unlike herbs and shrubs, we will find thick trunk with bark covering over the trunk to protect it. Then branches coming from the top of the trunk. This is not happening in case of the shrubs. Okay, it starts from base also. Now, then we will find height is above 3 meter. Many branches are there. Okay. What do we call this? Tree. Tree. You gave me many examples: mango, neem, banyan. Okay. Jamun. Okay. So this is how you can classify herbs, shrubs, and trees. Okay. Is it clear to all of you? Now you do one activity. Today's your homework. You have to become a very good, curious observer. As told by Einstein that he is a passionately curious person, not intelligent. So you also become a passionately curious person. Observe your surrounding and make 3 columns: name of the species, name of plant, then write about its height, write about its branches, and write about its stem, and then write under what category it is there, whether it is a herb or whether it is a shrub or whether it is a tree. This is the homework. Be a good observer, be a curious observer, observe your surrounding and write down. For example, I will give you, for example, suppose I have seen a plant, I have seen the height below 1 meter. I have seen branches few. I have seen stem, weak, tender stem, tender thin stem. So I identify the species, for example, tulsi. What I will write here? Give the answer. Give the answer. What I will write here? Yes, Jagvi. Give the answer. Bhatkar, give the answer. What I will write here then? Is it clear? Are you able to see that? Very good. Bhendarkar gave very correct answer. Very good, beta. Keep it up. That is her. Okay, like that you also become a very good observer of your surrounding. You can see everything in your environment, make such columns and classify different species you see in your environment. One more example I will give. For example, if you are unable to see, no, you listen carefully. These are some limitations in online teaching, but we have to cope up with it. Then we will find that I will give some other species. If I have seen its height is suppose 2 meter. I wrote it have many branches. It have stem which is thick but not as trunk. Okay. Now I identify the species and suppose I wrote here China rose. That is Hibiscus rosa sinensis jasmine. You can see everywhere it is there. So now tell me what is the category? What is the category? Yes, Ule gave very correct answer. Very nice, beta. Keep it up, beta. That's spirit. Shrubs. So it is the shrub. Write down here shrub. So enjoyable activity. You do this. Write down different species. Estimate their height. Estimate. See their branches. See their stem. And write down this category. Okay. Then the same way I am telling you. Suppose I observed some other. For example, if I see height is above 3 meter, I estimated the height above 3 meter. Okay. Then branches, many branches are there. Many. Then stem, very thick. Very thick. Okay, trunk. Now I identify the species. Suppose it is neem. You can see everywhere in the column. Okay, then name which category you will give. Oh, very good. Bhatkar gave very correct answer. It will come under tree. Very good, beta. Okay, so this enjoyable activity, enjoy and learn. See, observe your surrounding and categorize different plants you see in your surrounding. Okay, this activity you have to do, and while doing, what are the benefits I will tell you. First benefit, you will come to know the different species in your surrounding, different species of plants in your surrounding. You will observe it, your observing capacity will increase, how your interest in the environment will increase, how it is height, how its branches, stem, and category, that is herb, shrub or tree. Okay, so slowly, now we are in nursery. Okay, 6th standard means nursery. From 6th standard we started science. So slowly, our interest, I am also included in you. So our interest will grow in the nature. Okay, so this activity you do that. After that, now we will study about different parts of the plant. This is the ground. Just below the ground there is the part. Now you have to see the diagram and answer the question. Just above the ground there is the part. Okay. Now tell me the name of the part which is below the ground. Tell me the name of the part which is below the ground. Root. Very good. Kalapati gave correct answer. Tripathi gave correct answer. Very good. Root. Tell me the name of the part which is above the ground. Tell me the name of the part which is above the ground. Above the ground. the part of the plant which is above the ground. Shoot. Kalapati gave correct answer, Tripathi gave correct answer, Bhandarkar gave wrong answer. It is not root, it is shoot. Now shift to the next question after root I told you. You might have given the answer of root. Okay. So shoot. Okay, root and shoot. So you observe carefully that each and every plant in your surrounding, whether it may be a herb, whether it may be a shrub, or whether it may be a tree, it is having two major parts. The part below the ground, the part above the ground. The part below the ground is known as root, and the part above the ground is known as shoot. Okay. Now we will move little bit forward. Now in the shoot, can you observe this part? What do we call this part? Yes, give the answer. Give the answer. What do we call this part? Give the answer. Stem. Very good, beta. Stem. Okay. So already our 40 minutes are over. I am requesting you to do the activity regarding herbs, shrubs and trees. So this activity you are doing to enjoy your studies. Okay. So do it. It's very good. If you are doing it, you will find a lot of interest in it. Do it and send the pictures. So I am requesting you to do this wonderful activity and enjoy. Okay. So that will clear your concept of herbs, shrubs and trees. Tomorrow we will study about the different parts of the plant and their function. Thank you very much.